on, internet world? Garage Guitarist here, back for another video with y'all today. Today we're going to be working on the red and black Fender Squier Affinity Strat that I picked up at the pawn shop. I picked it up for about 80 bucks, usual. So we're going to be taking it apart, several steps of course. We're going to take the pickguard off. We've got the new pickguard here. I picked up some pickups from Dragonfire guitars. We're going to install them. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the middle pickup and just have a humbucker and a single coil. So it's going to be a pretty long video. I'm going to try to do it in several steps. So stick around and you know, what you think, R2? Exactly. Alright, so here's the stuff that I ordered. I got a fat screamer. It's got the oversized poles on it. Should be a nice pickup. And this one I've never worked with before. This is the fat single coil. It also has poles that match the same size as the humbucker. And I've got two 500K pots. Instead of using a blade switch, I'm going to be using mini switches. That way I can turn on both pickups at the same time, and this one is going to tap the coil of the humbucker. This is new. I've never done this before, so this is going to be a new experience for me. I've never used mini switches. We just have a standard on-off mini switch. I got two of those, one for each pickup, and then we've got a double with on-off that'll be used to tap the coil. I probably could have used just 3 of these, but I wanted to keep one of them open in case I decide to do something else with it. Of course, I've got all the springs and screws, all of the screws for the pickguard, and that's all the parts that I've got. Of course, it's going to come several stages. We're going to have to take the strings off. We're going to have to pull all the electronics out, the knob covers off, because we're going to reuse the knob covers. We're going to have to take the pickguard off, and the first thing we're going to have to do is see how well the pickguard fits on the body. Because 9 times out of 10, all of these screw holes, one of them or at least 2 of them aren't going to match up. So we'll have to plug the hole and then sand it down and then re-drill the hole so that it matches up to our current pickguard, which it's kind of a pain in the butt, but you have to do it. Otherwise, if the screw hole doesn't exactly line up with the screw ends up going in crooked, and then it doesn't set properly in the countersink, and it just looks kind of weird. So we're going to start doing that, so let me get set up for that. Alright, so the moment of truth, we're going to see what we have to work with. And oh yeah, this one's nice. It's got shielding already in the cavity, which is good, nice and thick. I didn't want to have to mess with that. I'm going to come on the back real quick, flip it over and get rid of that one wire there. Just go ahead and snip it, push it through. Alright, so we'll get rid of that one there too. Tiny little screwdriver there. Let me see. Alright, so like I said, it's a pretty decent setup. I'll probably resell this one on Craigslist, make my money back on it. Just leave it just like it is and go ahead and offer it on Craigslist. Somebody will buy it. Somebody that's looking to fix up a guitar, or I may just hang on to it. I don't know. It's a pretty good pickguard. So I don't know where to put it though. I ran out of space. Okay. So this is the guitar. It's in decent shape. Just kind of get rid of some of this dust and dirt off of it. Now we're going to line up the pickguard, which I already know fits everything that Ken ships me from Dragonfire. Fits almost perfectly. Now this screw hole here and this screw hole here, almost, this one lines up perfectly. So the rest of these, let me poke these out real quick. Got a little bit of shielding in the way there. Let's see here. So I know that this one lines up. That one lines up pretty good. So we'll probably just go through and mark all the ones on the bottom besides the only one that matches up is this one, which, believe it or not, is actually the same case on the other guitar that I had also, and that one doesn't match. So this one is the only one that I can see that matches up. Screwdriver. Yeah, so that's going to be, it's a lot of work, but we'll make it work. Alright, so we've got the new pickguard here. We're just going to lay it on the body, and then using a couple different size screwdrivers, we're going to see if any of these holes match up. I see that this one matches up pretty well, and I believe that one there matches up. So what I'll do is I'll put a screw in here and here, and then use my marker to mark the rest of my holes. And I believe this one here matches up also. Yeah, looks good. So the rest of these we're probably going to have to pre-drill or re-drill, but we have to have a plug for it, so I'm going to plug it, glue it, and then re-drill it. So, alright everybody, I've got the pickguard off. I've got the 3 holes marked that I know line up. All the other ones are going to get plugged. Now what I'm using basically is just a regular old bamboo skewer. You can buy them in any hardware store. You can get dowel pins if you want to. I've done that before, but I'm just going to use that and a little bit of super glue. Alright, so I have let them cure, and they're in there really good. So I'm just going to go ahead, snip them off, and then we'll get the Dremel out and we'll just kind of sand them down flat so that I can mark my new holes for the new pickguard. Alright, so I'll get the Dremel out and sand them down. Alright, so we've got them snipped off and we are ready to come in with our little Dremel tool and just kind of smooth them out so they're nice and even with the body. Alright, there we go. Nice and smooth. Now, I have to admit, I made a huge mistake when I mounted, while I was waiting for these to dry, I went ahead and mounted my tone and my volume knob on my thing and all of my switches, but I put my mini switches in and I realized that this one was a little too far forward, so I had to go ahead and route out a little chunk of the body right here so that that switch could fit. You can see it. It's kind of like considerable little amount there. It's not hard to do. I have a little tool for that, little router tool. It doesn't hurt the body in any way to do that either. So, but other than that little mistake, the pickguard fits on there nice and flat, and I can re-screw these screws in, and now I can go ahead and mark my holes as to where I want everything to go, and then we will get to drilling and re-drilling the holes. So we know that that one fits, and then I believe this one over here works good too. That one, or yeah, that one right there. Alright, so pickguard looks nice. Everything clears just fine. Put the pickup in there, make sure, yeah, that clears good. Plenty of clearance there. We got plenty of clearance on the, okay, so we're good. As far as clearance is concerned, I think that you got plenty of room for that switch, plenty of room for the wires, so we're gonna go ahead and get to marking these holes. Just gonna go ahead and hit them with a magic marker. Alright, so take these screws out, and then we should have good marks on our body for the screw holes. And now that's how you get an aftermarket pickguard to line up with screw holes. You can see this one's a little off, this one's a little off. They're all just slightly off, and the reason you do that is because you don't want that screw going in there crooked, because it'll look weird with the pickguard. So let me get my drill and we'll start drilling. Now, get rid of all that dust. When we lay that pickguard on there, now all the screw holes should line up. So I'm going to go ahead and put the screws in and see how it fits. Go ahead and put my original ones back in that I marked the holes with. And we'll see how well of a job we did at marking these holes. Oh yeah, that was really good. A little bit crooked. It's alright. Good. Looks real nice. Everything's coming together good. And you can see there's no gap up here on the neck. That neck pocket is cut perfect. I can't say enough about Dragonfire guitars, man. They really do a great job. I've never had a problem with any of the parts that he's sent me. But I'm sure if I did, I could just shoot him an email and he would probably take care of it like it was nothing. He loves doing this. I wish I had his job, honestly. I wish I lived where he lived, honestly. I mean, geez. Oregon, man. Could be better than Texas. All it does down here is the sun shines and everything's freaking baking hot. Can't catch a break in Texas, man. It just sucks. Alright, so that's good. All the pickguard screws go in nice and straight. So the hardest part is over with. You know, getting that pickguard to fit correctly really is probably the hardest part about changing out a pickguard. It really is, but once you get it right, once you learn how to do it right, it really comes in handy. So there it is. We've got our mini toggle switches. This one is gonna turn, this one right here is gonna turn the front pickup on and off. This one's gonna turn the back pickup on and off. And this one is gonna tap the coil. And so what I did was I moved my volume knob, because on a Fender it's right here next to your pickup, and sometimes when you're playing your hand hits it. So I moved it down to the middle position, and I moved the tone over to, of course, the traditional spot for the tone. And so we're going to get to the next section of it, which is we're going to wire up the pickups, put strings on this bad boy, and give it a test run. All right, so let's get this thing wired up. I'm going to be working with this wiring diagram I have right here. I ran it past some people I know. They said it looks okay, so I'm just going to go with it. And see how it works out. I'm sure I'll make a mistake or two in there. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tin all the ends of these so that I have plenty of solder to work with. Of course, I need my glasses to do that. The old trusty So I'm done with the guitar. It turned out really great. I've got all the things that I want. I've got individual toggle switches. I can turn the pickups on and off as I like. And I can tap the coil on the humbucker. So, what are some things that I like about this guitar? Well, I like the fact that you can run the humbucker and the single coil at the same time. I just like that, and you can turn it off if you want to. I really like the tone cap that I have. It's a big fat orange tone cap. I've never used it before, so I got all the tone that I want out of this guitar. I did a little setup on it. I'm going to come back and probably finish it some other time, but right now it's good enough to play for the video. You know, what do I like about this guitar? Again, the humbucker, the single coil at the same time, the absence of a middle pickup. I even thought about actually doing what's called a secret agent pickup underneath, actually mounting it underneath the pickguard to where it's hidden but still there, but I thought, I don't want to do all that. I really wanted to work with toggle switches because I've never worked with toggle switches before, and I'm fairly happy with that. Some mistakes that I made, I placed my toggle switch in the front too far forward, so I had to go in and route some of the body out so that I had room for the toggle switch. The biggest mistake, and the one thing that I absolutely hated about this guitar, was the fact that I chose to wire it with solid core wire. Now, the difference between solid core, I don't know how to, other than any way to show you, solid core wire is, it's a solid piece of copper. So, when you bend it, it's like, it doesn't flex, it doesn't bend, and then there's a solid piece of copper at the end of the wire. So it's not really that easy to work with. I absolutely hated it. I literally had to wrestle this guitar to get it all in there correctly, and every time I bent one of the wires a little too much, it would snap off. I'd have to take the whole thing off and resolder it. So it was a complete pain in the ass, and I wasted a lot of time fixing it. So I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to go out, I'm going to get me some regular wire and just come back, take all this out and wire it up with regular wire. I don't understand what the draw is for solid core wire. I don't know why people use it, but I didn't like it at all. So that's that. But overall, it was a great build. I like this guitar. I'm probably gonna hang on to it. I don't know if I'm gonna sell it, but definitely gonna hang on to it for a little while, kind of get used to it. I like the tonal options on it. It's a little bit different than a Strat. Of course, you know, with a Strat, with a standard Strat, on the blade switch on the Strat, so it never lets you choose the back pickup and the front pickup at the same time. When you're in the middle position, it only chooses the middle pickup. And that kind of got frustrating with me because I wanted to do both of these pickups at the same time because I wanted to kind of mimic a Telecaster. And that's really what I was shooting for with this guitar. So it's like a Tele Strat something. I don't know. They have a word for it, but I don't know what it is. But overall, great build, solid guitar. The action needs a little bit of adjustment. I had to realign the neck because when I first got it, I could hear the neck creaking when I would press down on it. I could hear it go kink, and then I'd press back and it would kink. It would do it again. All that is basically you just go in the back, you get it set to where you want it, and then you clamp down a little bit harder on the neck screws, and it keeps it in place. Overall, successful. I'm happy with this. Like I said, Dragonfire pickups. Ken, he always hooks me up with these. Of course, I pay for them. I never get anything free. All these guitars that I do, all these videos that I do, I never get that shit for free. I don't get comped anything. I don't play that. I buy this stuff legitimately. I pay for it. I come in here, I wire it. Other than the occasional bit of advice that I get from them, you know, I don't have a sponsorship. I'm not that popular yet. So, but these are great pickups. Dragonfire fat screamer on the back, and then a fat single coil. So if you're interested, go to Dragonfire Guitars, check them out. Really great website, easy to use. You can check out right there. Shipping's awesome. So that's another guitar modification in the bucket for the Garage Guitarist. And if you like this channel, don't be afraid to hit the subscribe button. You know, give us a like, give us a comment, help us out any way you can. Till next time, people, keep rocking.